Namaste and salutations. I wanted to offer you a practice today that is going to sort of be the antidote to maybe you're sitting on the couch and Netflix binging. This one's going to be very centered around stretching quadriceps and hamstrings. You know, if you're sitting on your couch or in your bed, just binging for hours on end, no judgment on that, by the way. We can get a little tight. You know, I noticed the other night I had watched 4 episodes of RuPaul's Drag Race, and I went to get up and I was like, oh. So this is mostly to help us counter that. It's a balance between work and play. So we're going to start standing at the top of our mat. So find your way to the top of your mat. You might want to block a yoga block nearby or something sturdy that you can use. We'll start with a forward fold. So feet about hip width apart, and then we're going to hinge forward and hang over these legs. Tip your chin toward your chest and just let the arms feel heavy. And take a hold of opposite elbow, bicep. Let some weight pour into these arms. Then we'll sway side to side with the torso. And then we'll pause in the center. We'll bring our hands to the shins, come up about halfway, lean through the spine. Then on the exhale, fold back over, walk the feet in a little bit closer. Then we're going to bring those hands behind the ankles or the calves, just trying to draw ourselves a little closer to the shins. Again, keeping the chin towards the chest, it's going to stretch out all those little muscles we aggravate staring at our phone for hours at a time. Then hands back to the front of the shins, come up about halfway, lean through the spine. And then this time on the exhale, as we fold over, see if you can line your fingers up with your toes. So it's kind of like 20 across, and hang over the legs again. If not, any of those other options are available. Then a slight bend in the knees. We're going to roll up vertebrae by vertebrae, shoulders back and down, head the last thing to come up. Hands at the heart, deep breath in, big open mouth exhale. We're going to move through 3 rounds of sun A. So inhale, sweep up. Exhale, dive out over your legs. Halfway up on your in-breath. On your exhale, as you fold, take it back to plank pose, your way. Look out past your back. Roll those shoulders back and down. Looking forward, take a nice deep breath in. Exhale all the way down to the belly. Inhale up into baby cobra pose. Roll those shoulders back and down. You might do one at a time. And maybe a little bobblehead for the head and the neck. And then we're going to flip those toes under. Inhale. Exhale. Back to downward facing dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. Then see if you can start to move your breath in and out through your nose. We're going to look up at the top of our mat. Lift up those heels. Step, hop, or float to the top. Halfway up on your in-breath, exhale, fold. Shake out the head, shrug the shoulders. Then, halfway up, sweep up on the inhale. Exhale, hands to the heart. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive out over your legs. Halfway up on that in-breath. Exhale, fold, plant your hands. Travel back your way, looking out past your mat. Exhale, down. Inhale into that cobra. You can stay here or slightly move your hands back and straighten the arms and turn this into upward facing dog. If ever in your vinyasa you want to do up dog but not the chaturanga, you could totally take that. Then exhale, downward facing dog. Smooth out that breath in and out through your nose. Then we'll look up, lift up those heels. Right foot followed by left foot. Halfway up, exhale, fold. Arms out as you ride the breath up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Now we're going to bring the feet together. If feet together doesn't feel great in your hips or your back, by all means keep a little bit of space between them. Then we're going to bend the knees, sink the hips, sitting down into Utkatasana, chair pose. And then maybe the arms come up overhead. Roll your shoulders back and down. Good. Nice breath in. Exhale. Fold over your legs, halfway up on the inhale. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, travel back your way. Now maybe it's chaturanga, then up dog. Otherwise, feel free to go to your belly and stick with cobra. Then exhale, down dog. We're gonna step that right foot forward and bring the left knee down and uncurl those left toes. Hands to the right thigh, making yourself very tall. So as you step down into this right foot, press this left hip forward. Left arm up alongside the head. Right arm up alongside the head. Stay here, or right hand can take hold of that left wrist, and you can take a slight side bend to your right. It's a little bit of a balance challenge as well. Come back up to center. Hands to the floor. Pick up that back knee. Let's step back. Down dog. Stay there. Or take a vinyasa. I'm not. But if you are, good for you. Then we'll step that left foot forward. Bring down that right knee. Uncurl the toes. Again, you're making yourself tall like you're about to be knighted, which would be very surprising if you're an American, probably. Press that right hip forward. Right arm up alongside the head. Left hand grabbing a hold of that wrist. That slight side bend to the left this time. Make sure you engage a little bit of those micro muscles to keep from falling, by the way. That's a good thing. Coming back up. Hands to the floor. Pick up that knee. Step it back. I'll take a vinyasa this time. Two breaths and down dog. And then we're going to look up at the top of that mat. Lift up those heels. Step, hop, or float. Halfway up. Exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips. Utkatasana. Now I know I said we were going to stretch quads and hamstrings, but you know, we got to warm them up a little bit first. And frankly, we will be leaving our houses at some time, so let's keep that booty up. Fold over the legs. Halfway up on the inhale. Exhale, fold, take it back your way. Your vinyasa here. Now this time, we're going to step that right foot forward and turn that left heel down. Coming up for warrior two. We're going to do this pose probably a couple of times. So as you lunge into this leg, level off these hips so you're not crashing down into that right hip and hiking up the left hip. Long spine, tailbone heavy. Then as the arms come into that letter T, you might turn the palms up for this first go around so that those shoulders soften from those ears. Then exhale, hands to the floor. A tricky transition here. Tabletop, okay? Then you're gonna extend that right leg behind you, square the hips, bend that right knee, left arm out, sweep it around. See if you can grab that right foot with your left hand. And if you grab that, square that left shoulder and that right hip. Take another breath. Exhale, release it all. Downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale. Then that left foot forward, right heel down. Gratuitous butt shot. Warrior two. I suppose it's really only gratuitous if it's something you're wanting to see. Lunge it into that front leg. Soften those shoulders. Engage that belly. Then on the exhale, hands to the floor. Tabletop. Extend that left leg. Bend that knee. Sweep that right arm around. Take a hold of that foot if you can. Then square things. Square appendages. None of your appendages are actually square. BT dubs. And let go. Return it to the floor. Down dog. Either stay there and enjoy the stretch, or if you feel like you need movement, go through a vinyasa. I'm going for the stretch because I know what's coming. Then look up. Lift up those heels. Step, hop, or float to the top. Halfway up on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, sink the hips, chair pose. I'm gonna dab my brow. Now this time in chair pose, you could shift weight a little forward and see if you can lift the heels off the floor. Good. That's mostly for me. Like, good, Stephen. Heels down. Fold over the legs as they straighten. Halfway up. Exhale, fold. Plank pose through your vinyasa. You could even just do this, hold plank, like 2 breaths. And then go back to down dog. I mostly demoed that because I didn't feel like doing the chaturanga stuff. Right foot forward, left heel down. Warrior 2, told you we'd be doing it again. Then, right elbow, right knee, left arm up alongside your head. So as you step down into this right foot, try to find this feeling of rolling that right hip under and plugging into that back foot. We're just going to stay here because this will not be the only time this pose happens. Take another breath in. Then on the exhale, hands to the floor. Back to down dog. Inhale. Exhale to tabletop. Right knee is going to stay on the floor. We're going to step that left foot back and turn that heel down. Left hand, left hip. Then maybe that right foot has to move a little bit behind you. It does for me anyway. Then we're going to lift that left leg, flex that left foot. Stay here or bend that knee. Reach back, grab a hold of that foot or ankle. Then press your hips forward, but draw that belly in. Hopefully that's a good quad stretch for you. Another inhale. Exhale, we're going to free that leg. Down dog. Bend your left knee, let your right heel weigh heavy. Stay there or go through a vinyasa. Then finding your way back to down dog. Left foot forward, right heel down. Inhale, up to warrior 2. My feet are making so much noise on the mat today. Then left elbow, left knee, right arm up alongside the head. Roll under that left hip. Again, this pose can just be the warm-up side angle. It's kind of like when you make pancakes. Maybe this one isn't the one you put on the plate. You eat it while you're cooking the rest. Then hands to your mat. Down dog. Tabletop. Left knee's going to stay on the floor. Step that right foot back. Turn that heel down. Right hand, right hip. Maybe you kick that left foot a little bit behind you. And lift up that right leg. And maybe go for that bind. A little trickier for me on this side today. Now, you're going to feel that stretch probably in that top quad, but you might also feel some energy, let's call it that, or sensation in that left hip. And then release the bind. Down dog. Maybe you bend the right knee while you drop that left heel. Maybe you take the vinyasa. Then looking up at the top of your mat, lift up your heels. Step, hop, or float. Halfway out on that in-breath. Exhale, fold. Last time. Bend the knees, sink the hips. Chair pose. Shoulders down. Integrate them on your back. Take another breath in. Exhale, fold over the legs. Halfway up on your inhale. Exhale, fold, plant those hands. Plank, tabletop, dog, vinyasa, whatever you are feeling led to do here. Eventually finding your way to down dog. Then that right foot, stepping forward, left heel down. Inhale, up to warrior 2. Last one we're going to do on this side. We're going to throw a little reverse warrior in. So left hand, left leg, right arm reaching over. Lunge into this right leg. Feel the breath expanding these right ribs. We're going to go maybe deeper in side angle. You can certainly stop with that elbow and knee. Or that right hand to the floor, inside your right foot. Roll that right hip under, draw that left shoulder back, and then left arm alongside the head. Breathe. Now this could be where a block could come in handy here. So you can take this block, walk it forward, right hand on the block, left hand, left hip. Let's lift up into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. I deliberately set it up like this so you can't see the grimace on my face when I do this pose. Then maybe you go for the bind here. I usually have to bend that front knee to get it, and then re-straighten it. 2 more breaths. And then we're going to release it, back to the floor, down dog, maybe a vinyasa here, maybe not. Then we're going to step that left foot forward between the hands, right heel down. Last warrior 2 of this practice. Shoulders down from those ears. Let's reverse that warrior. Take another breath. Then on that exhale, left hand maybe to the floor. Again, you can always do elbow to knee. Then we're going to bring that right hand to the right hip. Block out in front. See if we can go for that Ardha Chandrasana here. Again, you can just stay in the balance pose. And you can even just bend that top knee and not go for the bind. Or once you get that bind, reestablish your breath. Last standing pose, by the way. And then we're going to free up that leg. Right foot to the floor, left foot to the floor, dog, vinyasa, maybe child's pose. Then if you took a vinyasa, find your way to child's pose. A couple of breaths out of the mouth. And we're going to do a couple of seated poses, back bend, and a good hamstring stretch. So find your way back to tabletop. Go with your knees about hip-width apart and your feet in line with your knees. Then we're going to see if we can sit down between the heels. Now, if you don't touch the floor, that's okay, but if you're feeling some pain in these knees, maybe put a block up underneath your sit bones. Otherwise, roll those shoulders back and down. We're just doing this to get the quad stretch. You could take the hands a little bit behind you and maybe even come down to palms. And if you do that, just kind of curl the tailbone under a little bit. But I promise you'll get just as much of a quad stretch like this. Now this is going to be a shape that we're going to maintain for the next couple of minutes for a couple of these poses. Now your left leg's going to stay where it is. I need a block for this one at a low setting. So I'm going to lean to my left and I'm going to step my right foot forward and I'm going to take this block and I'm going to put the block right up underneath my right sit bone butt cheek. Then I'm going to walk my hands back a little further and come down to my forearms, elbows. So this is really a quad stretch for this left leg. Don't worry, right leg is going to get some attention very shortly, actually. Inhale and exhale. And then we're going to walk our hands back towards us. Once we're upright, we're going to extend that right leg out. Now you want to be very mindful that you're not trying to press this knee down. So there's definitely space between the back of that right knee and the floor. Dig that right heel into your mat. Start to hinge forward. You could just keep your hands on the floor like that, or you could take your hands to that right leg. I like to take my right hand there and keep my left hand by my left hip, sort of like a little kickstand. Keep the spine long. It's a bit of a forward fold. You're definitely getting some stuff probably in this right calf and right hamstring. These are the poses that tighten up if you're, sitting in your chair or on your couch for a long time. Now the next pose is not going to probably be so pleasant for a lot of us. You're going to have to kind of kick off a little bit. So you're going to bend this right knee. We're going to lunge into that right leg. And you might hop that left knee back a little bit. You can stay over this right leg, or you can bring that right hand to the inside of the right foot. Now, I've left my block way back there, so I'm probably not going to come down on my forearms, but what I will do sometimes is come down onto my left forearm and drape my right arm over my right leg. Gives me a little bit of a twist here. Then if you wanted to amplify this feeling, flip those back toes under and pick that knee up. Oh, that is amplifying those feelings. Let's do 2 more breaths here. And then hands to your mat. Whatever you got to do to get back to down dog. Move my block over there. If you are craving a vinyasa here, go for it. I am not. Then when we find that down dog, back to that tabletop with the knees about hip width apart. Again, see if you can sit down between the heels. Pause here. Now my block's going to go under this one. So I'm going to lean to my right. I'm going to step that left foot forward. Put that block right up under that butt cheek. Hands behind me. Walk the hands back a little bit. Right quad. So, you know, the quads and the hamstrings can be tricky to maintain a good balance for them. Because if you're doing if you're a runner, cyclist, walker, bring your torso back to center, extend out that left leg, start to hinge forward. There's a constant contract release of those muscles. But if we're on the other end of the spectrum, like, you know, we're just in a constant static condition, they're going to get really short and cranky too. So it's kind of like dating someone difficult. You just don't know what to do to make them happy. Let's do about 3 more breaths here. All right, then, hands along you. Bend, lunge into that left leg. Scoot things forward and back, however you need to. Then again, the hands are maybe inside this left foot. You could stay here. I promise you'll lead a full happy life. Or come down that right forearm, drape that left leg over, and maybe you lift up that left knee. And breathe. Take another breath in. And we're going to come down. Find our way back to down dog. Move your block out of the way. Maybe a vinyasa, maybe just a static hold. And then we're going to tip forward into a plank pose. Exhale all the way down onto your belly. So we're going to go for Dhanurasana bow pose. If you have a shoulder, knee, or hip thing, you just interlace your hands at the small of the back. I'll talk you through that in a moment. Otherwise, bend your knees, reach back, grab a hold of the foot or the ankle, press those front hips into your mat, lift your belly, take a breath in, exhale both ends coming up for a bow pose. If you have your hands interlaced at the back, lift up the upper body, maybe the lower body, and you're going to come into bound locust. 2 more breaths. Nice heart opener as well as quad stretch. Exhale down, hands under your shoulders. Let's press back to child's pose. Take a deep inhale and open mouth exhale. Then up to that tabletop. We're going to make our way onto our seat. So we're going to do a forward fold with a little bit of core. So legs extended, it's almost like an ink blot test. Arms up alongside your head. Reach up on that inhale. Exhale, hinge forward. If you can grab feet, go for it. If you can't, just take a hold of whatever you can. Long spine, chin down. stay here, or take a hold of this right foot. If you need to bend the knee to do that, feel free. Anchor into your sit bones and that left heel, long spine, strong belly. Lift up that right leg. Krachasana. And with these shorts, you might see my Krachasana. Good, keep breathing. Another inhale. Exhale, we're gonna bring that leg down. Full breath in, full breath out. Take a hold of your left foot. Anchor down into that right heel. Exhale up. Good. Breathe in, breathe out. Try to keep those toes pointing straight up of the right foot. Then exhale, bring that down. One more breath in and out. Reach through your arms. Sweep up. Exhale, hands alongside the hips. We're going to bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet together. Now we're going to go for Baddha Konasana a couple of times. So we're going to stay seated upright this first go around. Roll your shoulders back and down. Right hand to right knee. You're not trying to force this knee down, but you're just giving it a little press as you look over that left shoulder. Roll your shoulders back and down. Shoulder blades integrating on your back. Good. Then we'll come back to center. We're going to cross the legs. So your left shin is going to run sort of parallel to the edge of your mat. Your right shin is either going to be in front, or if you can stack it on top, go for that. Lengthen up the spine on the inhale. Start to hinge forward. Flex both feet. If you want to feel a little bit more in this right hip, come over this left side. It does give you an up close and personal view of your current pedicure situation. Be loving toward yourself. And we're going to bring the torso back up to the center. Soles of the feet together. Lengthen up. Left hand, left knee again. You're not trying to get this even close to the floor. You're just going to press down that left knee as you look over that right shoulder. I just got a great little pop in my hip there. Good. And then as you come back to the center, that left shin is either in front of that right or on top of that right. Flex those feet. If you have all the feels in your hips, stay here. Otherwise, hinge forward with those feet flexed. Again, if you want more in this hip, go this way over the right leg. My left hip has just been, it has had some things to say to me over the last few days. Most of it is not very kind. All right, then we're going to bring the torso back to center. Ooh, last time. Soles of the feet together. Maybe they come a little closer for you this time. Lengthen at the beginning, then exhale, hinge forward. And again, you're not trying to push any of this stuff down. So maybe bring your hands forward. And I either like to have my hands about shoulder width or mat width apart, or sometimes I'll just bring my palms together. And your chin towards your chest. Round into that mid-back and upper back. Inhale and exhale. This is a purely feel-good moment, I hope, for you. All right, then we're going to lengthen through the spine. Let's bring that torso up. Exhale, feet together. Feet to the floor. We're going to go onto our back. We're going to do two more poses, a slight inversion and then a twist. So a block could be very helpful to have here. If you don't have one, it's not necessary. So we're going to roll down onto our back. We're going to do an inversion called Viparita Karani. It's a kinder inversion for your neck and shoulders. So if you have a block, have it on the low setting, lift your hips up, slide it up underneath your low back and your tailbone. You just don't want it to be way up here in your butt kind of hanging off the edge. So once you have it there, bring your knees over your hips. If you don't have the block, it's fine for your low back to be on the floor. We're going to extend the legs straight up into the sky. See which feels better, palms down or palms up. And we're just gonna hang here for about a minute. Dip your chin up a little bit. I always pop my toes in this pose. I don't know why. Some weird habit I developed many years ago. Let your breath start to slow down. So this is good if you stand a lot or if you sit a lot. This is good to sort of reverse that blood flow and to get the lymph fluids flowing. Good for stress and your immune system. Let's do about 5 more breaths here. And then bend your knees, feet to the floor. Once you're grounded there, lift up your hips, maybe bring the block up to the top of your mat so it'll be out of your way. Arms are gonna come out like a little letter T, or maybe you bend the elbows like a goalpost. We're gonna wrap that right thigh over our left, bump our hips over to the right, drop your knees over to the left. Your left hand could come take a hold of this right leg, and you could look over that right shoulder for a little extra love in this twist. Let's do about 3 more breaths. And then we're going to come back to the center. Uncross your legs. We'll take it to the other side. So bump those hips to the left, drop them to the right. Now my left shoulder's been a little cranky as of late, so I've been bringing it down alongside my torso. And then we're going to come back to the center, unwrap those legs, hug those knees, maybe go for happy baby pose. Either way, a little bit of rocking side to side, some love for that low back. And let yourself unfold into the shape of Shavasana. So send out your arms and your legs. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in, big open mouth. Exhale. Again, deep breath in. Hold it at the top. Then open mouth, exhale. This time as you breathe in, tighten all the muscles of your body. Hold at the top. Open the mouth, release. Let's do that one more time. Tighten as you breathe in. Hold. Then open mouth, exhale. Put the weight of your body drop down into your floor. Let your eyes close. Let your breath find its natural rhythm. If you'd like to stay here for another 5 minutes or so, feel free. Consider this constructive rest versus, our not so constructive rest. I appreciate you spending this time with me. Namaste.